What's up, everybody? I'm Richard.
And I'm Shawn.
And we are speaking the language of bromance. And
Richard,
what?
Love is in the air. Everywhere I look around.
You know what? Something is in the air because something is in the air.
Every sight and every sound.
Shawn, I don't know if you've been on this thing called the internet lately, but there is something in the air. I've got things to tell you, buddy.
Well, Richard, last year on this special day, we were like, you know what? It's Valentine's Day. Let's show our love for the two most important people in our lives. And so we did an episode together, and it was perfect.
Yep.
And our wives got hissy about it. They said, well, what about us? So we had to do a two-part episode for those two. And so to avoid any conflicts, what we decided to do is to find our misconnections on the internet. What could go wrong?
That's actually, like if you track the history of it, then it's like, oh, we did one for our wives. Now we're looking on Craigslist.
Math checks out. But it's Valentine's Day. Like I said, love is in the air.
Uh-huh.
And we always find great stories on Craigslist, misconnections specifically.
Yes.
And you know what? What I'm hoping one day, Richard, is that person A that wrote the note on Craigslist and person B who it's about, they listen to this episode and we bring those two together and they get married and have kids and then get divorced because that's what life is about.
Shawn, I don't know if you've been on misconnections on Craigslist, but there's not really a whole lot of soul searching going on.
There's a lot of hole searching.
Oh, that's great. Oh, that's fucking gold. Yes. So I spent a deal of time combing through the internet, looking, searching for some chef's kiss worth of misconnections. And I actually mentioned this to you before the show, but I said, I don't know why, but it seems like a lot of the ones that I picked seem to come from the deep south.
Yeah, we had a good conversation. It's like, well, why is that? And, the only thing I could come up with is that maybe they're more open than the other states right now because of COVID. But
right. Well, see, here's the thing is you think like, oh, well, ideally the place to look is like big city. Like, oh, let's look Craigslist New York or Craigslist Los Angeles or Craigslist London. I looked at Craigslist London, Shawn. There are 4 entries. That's it. Motherfuckers know how to stay the fuck inside in London, apparently.
Yeah, I guess so. Or they don't use Craigslist.
They probably don't.
Did you try Jeeves List? That's probably what they use.
What's the London version of Tinder? It's probably something stupid, like Lolly Service or something fucking
Cheerio.
But yeah, it seems like if you want to pan for gold, Shawn, you gotta head to the deep south. I did find some around like North Jersey, which is where I was gonna start.
That's probably actually people from New York. They just don't want to show their weird like side kink quest. Like, I'm from Jersey.
Yeah. Everything's legal in New Jersey. So I started in New Jersey, and then invariably I headed down to the deep south, and that's a lot of these are from there. But Shawn, I've got some really nice ones here. So without further ado, the one thing I will say that actually will lead into this first one is it was super sad. There were a lot of misconnections. Hey, I was talking to you and you were talking to me and we talked a lot and the conversation was really interesting. And we talked about music and movies and all this cool stuff. And then we left and I didn't get your number and I have no idea what you look like because you were wearing a mask and so was I.
Yeah. Oh man, there's going to be a lot of weird stuff. Like you look at, I mentioned this on something like 2 or 3 years from now, there's going to be weird studies about like what all this has done to the psyche of the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like I think emotions, students, like run the gamut. There's going to be an article written about it.
So this first one, like I said, found in North Jersey. And this one, you know what? This one is, I'm gonna bring in light because this is a great one. It gives you hope. It really shows that not all heroes wear capes, Shawn.
Ooh.
This one says, this is, like I said, North Jersey. This one says, as a white male, I believe it is far better to give than receive.
Yeah, I can get behind that.
Looking to thank a police officer, EMT, firefighter, clergyman, nurse, or etc. They have dedicated their lives serving others. They deserve to be served. Nothing is more fulfilling for me than to thank someone for their service. And the title of this is Servicing Frontline Workers.
Feels like a trap.
How is that a trap?
It feels like you're going to show up and it's going to be
Shawn,
your Sarge.
Not all heroes wear capes. Some people are sitting in their living room and they're waiting
Richard.
Officer Friendly to show up so, they can take care of their business.
Yeah, you know what? All you got to do is you go and pick up one of those Halloween costumes, those policeman outfits. You just show up. It's like, I'm from Precinct 69. It's like, you are. Come over here.
Yeah. I thought about that. I was like, how do you check? Like, are they
show me your badge?
Yeah, do they have to show up in uniform?
When you think about it,
do you open the door and I'm gonna need to see some identification, sir?
Well, the same guy comes back the next week in a fireman outfit. It's like, wait a second,
priest robe.
God bless you, sir, and your courage,
doing the Lord's work here.
Not only a policeman, but you was it Twilight? What do they call it? Where you nightlife something?
What? Where you night?
Where you do it you have another job. Like this is your job, but then you do this other thing on the side. Moonlighting. Yeah, you moonlight as a fireman. Why do they call it moonlighting?
I don't know. I just remember it from because usually it's a job you do at night. So by the moonlighting.
Yeah, makes sense.
I just remember the show that had Bruce Willis in it.
Yeah, I don't. I've never seen it actually.
It was kind of. I was little, so I don't know if you were even around. You were probably 2 when that show came out.
Probably. Because it was in the mid-'80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, early mid-'80s.
Did he moonlight as a fireman?
No, I think he just, he fucked the girl who I think was married.
On basic cable? Yeah, or was that network?
Well, it came on it was just before the news, if I remember right.
Oh, so it's like NBC at dark. It's like, yeah.
Yeah. NBC by the moonlight.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I think this is good. You see people and you see people on television and they're like, oh, we need to give money to our frontline workers. And that there's a firefighter or a police officer or an EMT that's like, fuck that, I want a blowjob.
Yeah, I want to be serviced.
Yeah. I don't keep your goddamn money.
This hose hasn't been drained in a week, if you know what I mean.
Because I'm a firefighter. That's a play on words.
This gun is super loaded. These. Oh wait, I was going to say these prayers, but I don't know if that clergyman should be saying that.
But yeah, I thought that was. I was like, you know what? That's sweet. That's actually a good thing.
So that sounds like it's a guy that wants to service a guy, but what happens if a lady shows up?
I mean, I would think if they're a frontline worker, then you got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, guys I got to do my American duty.
Yeah. God damn it.
Just go in.
Yeah. Your country will thank you.
Yeah, just sing your ABCs. Works every time.
God bless you, frontline workers. I hope you get all the blowjobs. Or ladies, I hope you get I hope everyone gets the service that they are so rightly deserved. Okay, so this next one, little odd, and I'm not exactly sure. I don't think this is sexual, but it might be. If it is, it's a little creepy. Not bad creepy, but weird creepy. But if it's not, then okay. I I could see this going wrong. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, it's Craigslist, Richard. Like 99% of these could go wrong.
Well, I'm just Okay, this one says, I'm a grandson that moved from a foreign country looking to be adopted.
First off, aren't we all grandsons or granddaughters?
You know, we're all somebody's grandson.
Yeah.
That moved from a foreign country looking to be adopted by a mother or grandmother, willing to help you with any activities. Only females, please.
That's somebody that's got a grandmom or a mom kink. That's somebody that's watched a few too many stepmom
Okay, but I'm
things.
saying like I feel like this could go bad one of either way. Okay, and it all depends on if both parties, if one of the parties does not know.
Well, technically they're both bad. Because this could be like a 12-year-old kid and he needs to find a family. He shouldn't be out there on his own trying to find a mom.
Or like what I'm saying, like what if this is like, like a 14-year-old kid that like comes to the door and there's like a 60-year-old woman in fucking leather bondage outfit that's like, all right, time to get punished. And he's like, I just wanted to bake cookies.
I didn't do anything wrong. It wasn't me. Whose hand was in the cookie jar? It was yours, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Woo! I didn't know I was into this.
Well, I guess this is my thing now.
You can never come back from
kink.
that.
I guess this is mine now.
Yeah, old Timothy after 15 years with Grandma Gert. When he tried to find a woman his own age, it just didn't work out.
Yeah, why couldn't I have a cool kink like, I don't know, bisexual? Instead, I had to go for this.
Yeah. Women don't like it when you call them Nana in bed.
That's good. You know what? That's just good life advice. That's a pro tip right there. But yeah, I feel like if one of the parties like misinterprets this ad, then it just makes for a bad deal.
Yeah,
like if
it's
the grandson is like, no, I just want like just knit me a sweater, Nana, and and Nana's has other uses for the knitting needles.
Yeah, well, and the other way too, like the guy shows up and he's like, oh, hey, Nana.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I made you a pie. Are you ready to dive into it? He's like, oh, yeah. And she comes out with an apple pie. Like, well, I mean, are we going to eat before this?
Oh, my God.
Time for our bath.
Oh,
it's like one of those old school tubs. So she's just got like one of those water things pouring on his head.
Bathtubs. Yeah. So the only, like I said, I feel like the only way that one works is if both parties understand what the other one is asking for.
I feel like the reverse of that, like this is, you talk about like Tusk, like this feels like a actual horror movie where the guy shows up like expecting it to be like weird and kinky. And the old lady ends up being like a psychotic killer kind of thing. Like he's trapped in the house.
It's not
like that idea.
Yeah, it's all like, oh God. Like not a gray fox, like a murder fox.
Be like a freaking gray cobra.
Yeah, that's what it is.
That's what I'm gonna call it, gray cobra. Because he gets there and he's all like, "Oh yeah," and she's kind of like innuendoing a little bit. Like it says, like, "Oh, I got a pie that's about to come out of the oven. You ready to dive into it?" And it's just a pie, and so he eats it and then he passes out and wakes up in the bathtub, and she's like cleaning him. He's like, "Oh yeah, now that's where this is going." She makes him get dressed. And he gets freaked out and tries to leave. Guess what, Richard? Can't leave.
And he's missing a kidney.
Great cobra.
He's missing both kidneys because she doesn't know how the organ harvesting market works.
Yeah. Well, no, she does. She gets 2 for 1.
Yeah.
Fuck
I'll
that guy.
I'll dump you in the basement and use you to make the next pie. All right, Shawn. So, I mean, I'm not trying to kink shame here. I'm really not. But like, I saw this one and I need someone to explain this one to me because this one I just do not get. Selling used underwear, $15 a pair plus shipping. I accept PayPal only. All payments are due before shipping.
Guy or girl? Does it say?
Does not say.
That goes back to our previous thing. Like both parties have to understand what they're getting. Because if I send you my underwear, you're like, oh yeah, you open it.
Boxers or bikinis.
You open it, it's like, oh, why'd he put them inside out with a racing stripe?
Well, there's $15 down the drain.
No, I mean, I know, like, just from what I've seen and heard, like, OnlyFans, that's a big thing. Like, you get up to certain tiers and you'll get stuff sent to you. You can buy it from them. Didn't that used to be a thing in Japan where you could get, like, vending machines and you could get used underwear?
Yeah.
Or is that an urban legend?
No, I thought with the vending machines you got a clean pair.
Is that weirder, do you think?
No.
I don't know what's weirder.
I'm fine if there's if you go to a vending machine to get a clean pair of underwear, especially in Japan, because those guys work like fucking like 18 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Yeah, I guess that's the way you
go
could
to the
sell.
train. You know, they're like they come off the train station and they're wearing like this, like, because here's the thing I've noticed with like especially like the salarymen in Japan, like the stories you hear about salarymen in Japan where they work like 18 hours and then they go out and they like get fucking hammered drunk. And then just go straight from it's just like they never go home. They go to work and then they leave work and they go straight to the bar. They get hammered drunk until it's time to go back to work.
What's the life expectancy in Japan? 84 years. How the hell are they doing that and then making it 84? Like, that's 6 more years than us in the States.
That's fucking crazy, Shawn.
You think it's because it's probably the diet. I bet a lot of it's the diet.
Yeah.
Drinking sake.
Yeah. Sake.
Ooh, I told you on my birthday, we went and got sushi and got some sake.
That's good stuff.
Good stuff, yeah. I was pretty pumped.
But like a lot of those salarymen, what they do is then they see this vending machine and they're like, oh, I should get a pair of underwear. So they get a pair of clean underwear and like just basically like change and then throw the dirty ones away.
That'd be awkward,
because they never go home, Shawn.
Yeah, well, I mean, in those buses or the trains are pretty packed, so it'd be really awkward to strip down with like people right on top of you.
Yeah,
and pull on your new pants and you put your suit back on. Tough life.
I wouldn't want to do it.
Mm-mm.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I've only been naked in public like 8 times, and all 8 of the times somebody pointed and laughed. I think it's because they didn't think I ran very fast.
How many times have you been naked in public? Has it been 8?
You're talking like actual public, right? Like where you shouldn't be, because I've been naked in my backyard.
Okay.
Does that count?
You know what? For argument's sake, yes.
Yeah, probably. Okay. 8 to a dozen times.
Nice.
How about you? None, you freaking pervert.
No, I used to do this. I used to do this thing where like I go out at night. Like, I don't know if I should tell this story.
You already started.
Damn it, you're right. Okay, so I would go out at night and like go out with like my friends and male and female friends and like hang out and drink and whatever. And then there was one really weird summer, but like at the end of after, going out all night, I had a pool. I had an above ground pool in my backyard. So we'd all head to my house and then everybody that came with me, like, 7, 8, 9 people, like we'd all come to my house and keep drinking and nobody wore clothes.
Yeah. Was that awkward?
No, it really wasn't. It really kind of, I don't want to say like demystified the human body for me, but it was like exposure therapy. Cause like when you're younger, you're like, oh, a booby, oh, a penis,
Yeah.
But after that, like, it's just like, oh, like,
Well, I think it's like when you go to a strip club kind of thing, like when you see a bunch of naked women walking around, like it's not as exciting as you'd think.
Exactly.
It's still cool, but you're just kind of like, well, this doesn't like, but like if you're,
but then you also have to think that like at a strip club, like you're getting presented nudity in a hypersexualized context.
Yeah, but even then, like if you're at a concert and like somebody's on somebody's shoulders and pulls up their top, like that's completely different. That's like, oh, I'm not supposed to see that here.
Well, but with I guess I'm just saying that like the fact, like you were saying, like like it's not as exciting as you think, but like, and that's in the circumstances where it's supposed to make you excited, and you're kind of like,
yeah. I think it's just because it's awkward because it's like, oh, I'm looking at something I'm probably not supposed to be, even though that's what you're supposed to do there.
Yeah. Yeah. So to sum this up, you or I would not buy a pair of used underwear for $15.
Oh, yeah. No. But that's weird too that they didn't say who it was. Cause again, it's kind of like a Russian roulette for underwear. Like you said, boxers or thongs.
Yeah.
I'm curious, like how much money people make off that. Because there's an article I want to maybe talk about at some time, but maybe it's not worth pulling up the whole thing. But like I saw something about a bunch of people on OnlyFans aren't doing very well because I kind of equate it to like podcasts. Like in the last year, like I think they're up to like 500,000 OnlyFans members, like content creators.
So you're saying OnlyFans has kind of had a drop off?
Yeah, because I mean the people like there's just so much out there. It's just like podcasting. It's like, well, what do I listen? What do I want to look at? I know this famous person. I'll go to theirs.
Yeah. I think I think part of it has to do with I think it has to do a lot with the price point of entry. You know, because like a lot of those OnlyFans accounts isn't like the bare minimum that you give is like, you know, $10 or $15.
It might be. I don't know if you like. I don't know if it's like our Patreon where you can set it because it's like $1 or $10 or whatever. But yeah, even I mean, I don't know. It's kind of like, do you want to see my goods for $10 a month? It's like,
But I'm saying like if somebody was like, oh, what if it's $5? Well, I guess the model that the model that I compare it to in my head is like Twitch, for example. Like you get on Twitch and they have and you can watch all the Twitch content you want for free. However, if you want to watch the experience without things like advertising, then you pay $5 a month and you can watch at that whatever specific channel you're watching. You can watch that channel without advertising.
Yeah, I think the OnlyFans thing though is more like a Patreon kind of though, where you're supporting because you're not really getting you're not getting anything for free really.
Yeah,
but it'd be somebody that posts like semi pictures on their Instagram or something, and it's almost like you're paying to get closer to them, which is kind of icky to me. It's kind of weird, but
I think that if somebody started running ads, like if somebody like made their content free, but then started running ads on their OnlyFans during their OnlyFans feed, I bet they fucking clean house.
I kind of feel like it'd be like podcasting though.
I don't know, man. There's a far difference between the two of us sitting here talking and the two of us on a bed asking for gold coins.
I mean, it's similar because in the sense of like podcasting, there's like, like with ours, it's like we podcast, we do a bunch of stuff. If we're like, we want to charge you $0.25 an episode, people are like, screw you. I'll find content elsewhere that's as good. I mean, same thing if that was like OnlyFans.
Well, I think that's because it's all free.
Yeah, but there's places, Richard, I don't know if you know this, but there's places on the internet you can see it for free.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But then you don't have that interactive element, and I think, that's obviously what you're paying for.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like with the Patreon stuff, where it's like if you spend $1, you get an autographed picture. If you spend $5, you get a personalized voicemail. Like that's I think the kind of stuff that those do.
Yeah,
it follows that like Patreon, GoFundMe type model.
Yeah, I think that the OnlyFans model is due for some tweaking, and I think if somebody figures out the right way to tweak it, I think they fucking clean house on it.
Yeah, I mean, you do it like well, I mean, that's what the webcam stuff has done forever too, hasn't it?
Yeah, but the webcam stuff, I feel like with the webcam stuff, it was a very high entry point, because if you wanted to be a person that does it, like you got to buy all that equipment.
I mean, that's on your phone now.
I would say it's a bit more involved. I would say like start doing like a web show is a bit more involved than like say podcasting, for example. Because so I guess I'm saying that like the cost of entry is a bit higher, so not a lot of people did it.
Oh, back in the day, yeah. But I was just saying that stuff still goes on.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Just trying to think of something where there's boobies and you put ads.
If you were a girl, would you have an OnlyFans page?
No, I've thought about that. And it's one of those things, I think when you're at a young age, like I think of like, the famous names, like when the internet first started, like in 2004, 2005.
Yeah.
And none of their stories end really that great, where they're like, oh yeah, I'm 40 years old now and I own 6 businesses and I'm doing really well. It's like, yeah, I used to be this like porn chick on the internet. You remember me? I need $200. Can you PayPal me that?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's not something. I don't feel like you should do it with the mindset of like. I mean, I feel like, you know, trying to make a career out of being a webcam girl is the same as trying to make a career of being a streamer, where it takes constant work, but like, even if you do all that, it's still going to take luck.
Oh yeah. I guess my concern would be, you know, if you luck out, you
do it 100%.
But it's kind of like the YouTube fame stuff. Like sometimes people get too YouTube famous that they're not making money, but it ends up hurting them in the future. Like
I would have done it before there was OnlyFans. I would have been one of those early adopters.
I don't know.
I would have done it 100%.
Well, why didn't you do it? There weren't that many dudes out there. Because
I'm a dude. No, women don't go to the internet to see dudes.
Yeah, but other dudes do.
Yeah, that's a good point. I missed the boat.
I don't think you did. You still do it.
I don't know, man. I got this belly. I don't know.
There's somebody into it.
Well, yeah, but I need more than one person, Shawn, if I'm going to make money out of it.
Hey, that you said, you know, one fan is, you know, one fan more than you currently have.
I need somebody besides you. That's what I need.
And I need somebody to not watch it as a joke.
Yeah, just constantly ridicule me in the chat. All right, this next one I don't 100% understand. I don't know if this is bad or good, okay? This one says, "We met at the park, you rear-ended me, and I have not seen you since. I really need to find you." Now, if this was just I feel like the only reason you're posting this is because the way you hear the rear-ended and the way I hear rear-ended is different than somebody saying, you rear-ended me.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not like, hey, I still need to see your insurance, asshole.
Right, yeah. Like, it doesn't sound like there's any malice in this. So either somebody really doesn't mind having their car totaled, or the meaning of rear-ended in this context is not what you think it is.
Isn't that what happens at a lot of parks? Don't a lot of people go there and party?
See, that's the other thing. Is like, we met at the park and you rear-ended me. I'm like, does this happen? Like, do you just like if I went to the park, am I just going to meet some random person that's going to be like, "Hey, are you into raw dog anal?"
Like, let's get it on right now.
I'm just here for the frisbee golf. I don't know what this is.
I mean, unless like you did get to know them and then they like ran into you and it's like, "Oh, I don't have my stuff." Like, "Hey, I'll call you," and you drive away. Like, "Oh shit, I didn't get their number."
But if that was the case, like, would you post that on Misconnections on Craigslist?
I mean, would you really post anything on Misconnections?
I mean, not me. No, I wouldn't.
We need to put a misconnection out there to see like who has successfully got their misconnection to work. Like, especially in this situation where it's you know, not I'm trying to find somebody I haven't actually met compared to I need to find that person I met that I don't know where they are.
That's a good point. Like you almost want to reply to these and be like, "I have questions." Yeah. You're like, "How do you mean rear-ended? Do you mean it in the bad way, or do you mean it in the good? Like, are you looking for somebody's insurance info, or are you asking for somebody's phone number,
or both,
I mean, takes different strokes to move the world."
Why are you interested? Well, kinda.
Let's see. This one is a little melancholy, but I think he's really asking the right questions. He says, "Why is it that the guy or girl you want doesn't seem to want you until it's too late? You meet someone and try everything to get her or him, and nothing works. You give up and move on. Meet someone else, and then you meet someone else who's the total package. But hey, you take that chance and bang! The one you wanted the one you wanted before now wants you. Total universal mind games."
Yeah.
Answers? Question mark.
I don't know.
Anyone looking? Question mark.
I always remember that, like, back in the day, like, when I was single for the longest, like, you'd have, like, nobody give you any kind of, like, time of day. Yeah. And, like, the week you'd be, like, start dating somebody, like, the person that you, like, flirted with or tried to flirt with was like, oh, I totally would have hung out with you.
Yeah.
Like,
thanks.
Yeah, kind of late now. And maybe that's just their way of being like, whew, dodged your bullet. No, you're totally a great guy. Oh, yeah. Thanks.
I totally would have hung out with you. Oh, well, I'll go break up. Well, I mean, shit.
I'm married to a guy from Canada.
But I love that, like, he has this, like, you know, like, diatribe of loneliness and angst, and then ends it with, anyone looking?
Yeah. That's like, I mean, I've only gone, like, I went just about a full year without, like, a serious relationship. And that was the longest I'd had since, like, I was 16. And it is kind of weird when you're in that spot, you know, especially if you're kind of like a romantic too, or you want to be a romantic.
A hopeless romantic.
Because then you start coming off a little bit too desperate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh, well, it's been a month. That's not bad. Oh, it's been 3 months. Oh, it's 6. Will you marry me? It's like, sir, this is a Wendy's. I'll be your Frosty.
This next one is from somebody who obviously, like, I mean, this one says, I'm a monster hunter. And now I'm hunting for anacondas.
Oh, wow.
If you've seen any and know where I can find them, please let me know. I'm only interested in the really big ones.
Did you tell them they're in the Amazon?
Well, I got to go post a response. Hang on.
Is he talking about penises, Richard?
I'm only interested in the really big ones. Anything from 8 to 10 is worth me hunting, but anything 10 plus would be a real trophy. 10 plus? That doesn't exist. That's not real.
That's is a mutation. And
that's not real. That's
a
bullshit.
Strife against God, Richard.
There is only one person who probably has that, and it's Jason Momoa. That's it.
No, Jason Momoa, like, to be fair, Jason Momoa probably has like a solid like 6.5, 7, but it's the perfect 6.5, 7 snake. Like, it's one of those that it curls around perfectly.
It's like the size of a beer can.
Yeah. Would you want that coming at you?
I don't know. I don't want any of it coming at me.
I feel like I mean, there are some people, like you've kind of mentioned, like, I only want the big snakes.
Well, that's what this monster hunter wants.
But like my wife says, she's like, you know what, Shawn? Yours is perfect. It's cute. It's tiny. It doesn't scare me.
While she's rubbing your back.
Yeah. She says, don't worry about it. It's a myth anyway. Women can't have one. It's like, oh, thank God. I knew it was a lie.
That's the myth. This next one I don't think is a misconnection. I think this is just somebody that, you know, fucked something up. This one says, came by your office for an interview but chickened out. Let's try again. Why are you posting this on Craigslist? You fucked up the interview. You interviewed for a job, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, anybody, any job, anywhere would have that, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm sure.
Be like, why are you putting this on Craigslist? Contact the business.
Yeah, contact HR. Yeah, this is Bob. I showed up for my interview, and I just got cold feet and had to leave.
Yeah, don't post this on Craigslist, because like, is there be like, hello, this is Tom from HR. I saw your post on Craigslist misconnections. And was calling to reschedule another interview.
Don't worry, the couch is clean now. Oh, thank goodness. I was worried about that part. I'm trying to think. Like, I feel like at almost any job, if you miss the interview, you've kind of like failed the interview.
Yeah. I think rule number 1 for a job interview is show up to the job interview.
Yeah.
That's strats. That's pro strats right there. This next one is titled Lindsay T.
Lindsay Tohan.
So this one, I think this guy is just a little oblivious to what happened, because I'm going to read this to you and you're going to be like, yeah, I know what happened.
First off, you know what's funny before you keep going? Like, all of these have been dudes.
You don't know that. You don't know that.
It's at least 75-25.
A lot of these have been dudes, but I'm not going to say all of them. Some of them might be women. This one says, hey, girl, your Craigslist link expired. We literally just talked about meeting this week. Let me know if you're still interested. White guy, nice build, and you loved my package pic.
Oh, that's a dude that sent a picture that wasn't solicited.
Yeah, that's a dude that sent a picture, and then he's like, oh, she ghosted me.
Yeah. And you know what? Like, whenever you say nice build,
your
that's
Craigslist link expired. New Craigslist, who's this?
Nice build, aka, you know, just got some love handles.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this guy just doesn't understand what happened to him.
Do you think these people haven't discovered like Tinder yet? Like, wouldn't Tinder be easier?
You know, honestly, that may be why you see why that's actually a good reason why I find these misconnections in the Deep South and not in big cities. Because I think people in big cities probably just use Tinder because there's a whole lot of fucking people.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But when it comes to the more like rural, smaller city areas, like Tinder's probably a very small pond.
Yeah. Oh, I think my lucky stars that I missed that whole boat.
Yeah. I feel like it comes like I feel like, you know, people in this age looking for, you know, using Tinder and stuff like that, like you got to get comfortable with rejection real quick.
Yeah. I mean, Richard,
like you got to be able to like bounce right back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, like somebody's got to be like, no, fuck off. And then you're like, okay, moving on.
Yeah. I mean, I tried Hot or Not when I was in college and that didn't go very well. It's like maybe something's broke. I'm going to contact their page and see what's. Oh, no, I'm just an ugly dude with a nice build.
Want to see my package pic? The last time that I was in that hunt or whatever, Tinder wasn't a thing yet.
Yeah, the only thing that was kind of like you had the
the only things that were around. Yeah, I was gonna say the only thing that were around was like eHarmony and stuff like that, but not like all that was for like lasting relationships. And
yeah, the only thing that was
my current state of mind at that point in time was I don't want a lasting relationship.
The only one that was kind of like open, like what you consider like Tindery, was like that free Plenty of Fish, which like 9 out of 10 of them were dudes, and the other one was a bot.
Yeah, see, that's the thing is that like I'm in a fairly smaller town, so I feel like if I even if I just because I've had that thought, I'm like, I wonder like if I installed Tinder and like I could and I saw people that were on there. But I just, number one, I would not, because like I could totally see me doing that for like the laugh of it, and then my wife's going, "Why the fuck do you have Tinder on your phone?"
Yeah, I've always kind of wanted that as like a morale boost. Like you'd see all the people that swipe whichever direction's like yes on you, and be like, "Oh, sweet," like you know. Somebody thinks I'm cute.
I was just fooling.
Well, you don't have to text them back, but yeah, my wife would be like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah. And then, but like,
I just want somebody to tell me I'm pretty.
But I feel like it's one of those things like you'd have to announce you were doing it before you did it. But I think even the act of announcing that you were going to do it would go over just as well as like her finding it.
Yeah, you'd have to do it on like their phone. That's probably the only safe way.
Yeah. I don't have the balls to even ask. So
no. I'm not that curious.
Yeah, exactly. This next one, I want to know what this is like. This one said lost contact with maid service that used to clean and dust all nude.
I've heard of that, or at least that they would wear like because there was a lawnmower service like that too.
Really?
Where they wouldn't do it nude, but they do it in like bikinis.
Well, see, now you just took everything out of it. One time I mowed the lawn in my boxers.
That's not safe, Richard.
It was really, really hot.
You hit a rock and it goes the wrong direction.
Like it was stupid hot out.
Yeah, I hate mowing when it's hot because you like sweat profusely.
Oh, it was like so humid. Oh, it was gross.
Although when we in our old house where we had our above ground pool, one of my favorite things to do is right after you finish mowing, you just jump right in that pool.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Oh, it felt good. I mean, you got grass and crap in it, but oof, it felt good.
Yeah.
I don't know, like so. Even then, like I kind of feel like
contact with the all new maid service. Like I would think that would be like on your favorite contacts in your phone.
Yeah, and I feel like that's one of those like, yeah, you got the all nude maid service, but they also have the bouncer named Vlad that stands there with a pistol.
Yeah,
it's like you're like,
no
hey,
touching.
It's like, hey, come dust this, and he breaks your arm.
No
it's
touching.
Like,
Smack.
touch it. Yeah.
This next one, short but sweet, and I'm curious as to the participation level in which this means. This one just says, "Need stroking buddy, 63 white male." So here's the question here is, need a stroking buddy. We'll
stroke it to the left. We'll stroke it to the right.
Is this somebody that like he wants to help him, or like just somebody to do it with?
I think just doing it with.
You sit over there, I'll do it, and you do it, and then you.
All right, we're gonna turn on Murder, She Wrote. Well. if it gets you there, I guess.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like I feel like we should have prefaced the whole beginning of this with like, I'm not trying to kink shame. I just have questions.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for me, that wouldn't be my thing. 'Cause like I couldn't imagine sitting across like any dude, but let alone a 63-year-old watching Murder, She Wrote. You just hear the old guy go. Like he's like, no, we got to do it together.
But like, I'm just like, you hear the word like stroking buddy, and like you do you not just imagine like two dudes like sitting on a couch and they're just like, like jerking it together?
Yeah,
but they're like not even together. It's not like, it's not like
it's independent. Yeah,
they're not Dutch ruddering or double Dutch ruddering. It's like they're just like hanging out. They're like hanging out and like jerking off, and they look at each other occasionally and smile and wave.
Well, and it'd be kind of like, if you're kind of the person like taps your foot and like you're on the same rhythm, like wouldn't that just be weird? Or even then, if you guys were off rhythm, it'd be weird. It's like I can't concentrate.
You know what? To answer that question, I would say this, and this is just a theory, but I would theorize that if you were sitting next to someone and jerking off, and they're jerking off, I think that you obviously inadvertently would look at them doing it, and then you would subconsciously match their rhythm.
Yeah, probably. It's like when people whistle.
Yeah, I think, the two of you would be doing it in sync, and you wouldn't even realize it.
Yeah. I mean, if it's your thing, not my thing.
I don't know. I just hear that, like, it sounds innocent. Like it doesn't sound like terrible. I'm not like, I wouldn't. It's not something I would do, but like it doesn't seem.
You're like, you know what? I'm gonna bookmark this one.
It doesn't seem malicious.
Can I call you Pop Pop?
It doesn't seem like a nefarious thing. Like,
no,
hey, just come sit and hang out, and we'll jerk off together.
But like, oh man, like you sit there, you're not sure when you're supposed to start. Like you're like, I don't want to start too early, but I kind of came ready.
Like, I don't want to rush right into this.
And then when you're done, you just
immediately fucking take your pants off, and then you do that penguin walk over to the couch. You don't want to be that guy. You don't want to be too forward about it. But then you don't want him to start, and then you're just sitting there for a good 2 or 3 minutes. Be like, no, I'm a bit of a late bloomer.
But then you have the awkward like Thanksgiving thing where you're like, well, I'm done eating, but do I leave now or should I stick around a little bit? I don't want to think I just came just for this.
Like, do we smoke? Is this a smoke-worthy thing? Like, do we go outside and have a cigarette together? What's the protocol here?
Yeah, is that even a thing? Is that like a common thing?
There's so many questions, but I guess my point with this is that it doesn't seem evil. It doesn't seem like a nefarious thing. It's just two guys hanging out.
But I feel like you got to kind of like, you got to have coffee first before you jump into that, right?
What do you mean you got to have coffee first?
Like you got to get to know each other.
Oh.
Not like I mean, I always have coffee before I do that, don't you?
You walk in the door, the guy's like, well, coffee's on. I have the French press going. So let's get this circle jerk 2 started.
Well, that's the awkward thing. Like in the house, Tiffany's like, are you coming to bed? And I'm brewing a fresh pot of coffee. She's like, oh, Shawn, again? Yes. I'll be in my study.
This next one is... It starts out really nice and sweet, and then it just turns on you. This one says, you were sitting in an F-150, parked at the gas pump at the chevron of the corner of Tiger Bend and Antioch.
You said F-150. I was thinking like a jet, like a fighter jet.
No, you were sitting in an F-150, a truck.
Yeah.
You were parked at the gas pump, putting on your makeup in the rear view mirror. I passed by, and we made eye contact. I was curious if you were getting ready for a job interview. And if you didn't get the job or want a better one, let me know. I have a job for you.
Well, maybe he has an opening.
I bet he does.
Although,
you know what? He probably does because the last person chickened out for their job interview.
You know what's funny is, she'll probably come back and say, oh, were you the guy in the big Dodge Ram? He's like, no, I was in the Tacoma. He's like, oh, LOL. Although, there's something.
Who dis?
It's one of those. It's like, oh, I tried to contact you back, and you said your Craigslist thing was offline. There is something badass though. I think. I mean, I don't know if it really matters, like when you're looking at masculinity or femininity, but I always think it's something badass about a chick driving like a big old truck.
Yeah,
yeah, it's pretty. You see it a lot more now than you used to, for sure. But like when you see some like girl just driving those big old trucks, I don't know. It's just pretty cool.
So what you're saying is for you, the sexiest woman in the world is Large Marge.
Oh yeah.
Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent you. This next one, Shawn, is like this guy's self-esteem has to be like in the fucking toilet.
Oh like, shit, you found mine.
This guy's self-esteem like has to be like just like in the fucking ground, okay? This one says, seen you a time or two around town. Divorced white male here who has always been attracted to Asian women, but haven't had any luck meeting any. I hit it off with. I'm a college grad, gainfully employed, and have
Good
been
build.
called...
Good build.
Yeah. I'm a college grad and gainfully employed and have been called attractive before.
Mom says I'm a winner.
Mom says I'm a good boy.
Mom says I'm gonna make some woman lucky one day.
Like it just said, like this guy just sounds sad.
Yeah.
Like somebody told me I was cute once.
That's one of those things like whenever you get to like your like 30s or mid 30s or like right to your 40s. And if you like either become single or been single like your whole life, like your choices diminish really. Like your options are probably like a divorced woman, probably a mom.
Yeah.
And, or just coming right out of jail, which the jail one might not be too bad.
No. Like what if they're just in for like a simple possession charge? Like that's easy. Like, oh, you dust a little weed. That's cool.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, and I'm ready to dust something else. I learned how to bake pies in prison
and knit sweaters.
Oh my God, I've had. You want to hear about my kink? Can I call you Nana? No, yeah, that's. I mean, like everybody wants to be loved, right? And I think if you get to that point where you're just like, Mom says I'm a winner, I'd make some woman really happy.
Oh,
just like, oh, can I find somebody for you? Then you ask your friend that's single or your divorcee friend. And it's like, hey, you want to go on a date with this guy I know? And you show them a picture. And like, nope.
Swipe left. It's just a photograph. It's not swipe left.
No, look at their bio. Oh, nope. Swipe left.
Nope. We're done.
He has cats.
This next one, I feel, is trying to be sexual, but I think it's for a completely. I think this person wants what they want for a completely different reason. This says, I would like a pizza delivery. I'm sure we could work something out. Couples and females only. Now, does this guy want sex or does he just want a pizza?
Oof. You know what? Like, I'm starting to think, like, if you're like couples or females only and they show up with a pizza and they're horny, it's like, you know what? Why don't you guys get started in the bedroom and I'll put this pizza in the oven.
Yeah.
Keep it warm. And they go in there and they start getting busy and they, do their thing and they finish and they're like, where'd that guy go? You come out, you're just eating the last piece of pizza. Oh, I'm good. I'm sorry, guys.
Thank you so much. I didn't have my car. My mom has it.
You just can't eat one slice. Am I right?
She told me I was pretty once.
Oh man, that would be pretty sweet though to get free food that way.
Right?
Like, especially, like, have you seen the charges for like Grubhubs and stuff like that where they deliver the food?
It's fucking ridiculous.
It's stupid ridiculous.
Like DoorDash, DoorDash wants to like the thing that pisses me off about DoorDash is they'll change their charges depending on where you order from, and I think that's BS.
The thing that makes me mad is because, like, whenever you're sitting at home, you're like, oh man, I really don't want to get in the car and drive there, pick it up. It's gonna take like 30 minutes, so I'm just gonna order it because it'll be quicker. Then like 6 hours later, your food shows up.
Yeah.
It's never quick.
No, it's not.
And then they show up and they're like, hey, where's the party? You're like, it's in the bedroom. I'm going to eat this food real quick.
Go ahead and get started.
Just go ahead and hit play. I've got Murder, She Wrote Season 3 ready to go.
We could be stroke buddies. Go ahead and take your pants off. Just penguin walk in there. I'll be there in a second.
Don't wait for me. It's okay. We're not traditional in this house.
Let's see. Okay. Here's another quick one. This one says heating and cooling guy is the title. This one says, you look like a model. When you adjusted yourself and nodded, was that for me? If you see this, what did I say?
Oh, again, so was this two dudes?
I don't know. It's like, when you adjusted yourself and nodded, was that for me?
Because I feel like this.
So I'm just imagining somebody being like, and then the other person is just like, oh my God.
I was imagining it more like some dude's like, oh dude, my ball's like stuck to my leg. And he tries to like in a public place and he wiggles around and gets it and looks up and this dude's staring at him. He's like, oh shit, I just got caught.
Biting his lip.
He's like, sup, bro? Sup, bro? Yeah, adjusted myself, bro.
That's for you.
Peace, bro.
That's what I'm going to do. If I'm ever in public and I like have to like do something like that, like I'm just gonna like I'll look up and somebody's gonna be staring at me. I'll be like, "That was for you." And then walk off.
What's your strategy when you got to get yourself adjusted? Is it pocket? Like you go kind of in the pocket?
Yeah. Usually
you spatula it.
Yeah,
kind of make your hand into a spatula. And
yeah.
That's the worst thing. Like I can kind of handle that. My worst is when like your underwear bunches up.
Oh, it's the worst.
Yeah. You gotta like get in there and like kind of like try to flick it down your leg.
Mm-hmm.
It's painful. I hate it. It's like your socks. Like if your socks fall down in your shoes.
It's the worst. All right, Shawn. This is my last one.
Last one?
Yeah. I'm already at the last one.
I'm kind of surprised. You said you had 18. I'm surprised we got through them all.
Yeah, well, I think there was a couple that I skipped. There were a couple that I skipped that just were, they were okay. This is probably my favorite, so that's why I saved it for last. This one says driving stick on 165 South. This one says, my mom and dad took a picture of you beating your meat in a silver Mazda on the highway. My mom and dad took a picture of you beating your meat in a silver Mazda on the highway heading south just after leaving. This is in Birmingham, Alabama. Just after leaving Birmingham, Alabama. She wants me to get out and meet more people, and she says I spend too much time shitposting with memes. She showed me the picture, and you look like my type. So if you see this, email me.
You look like a fellow person that jerks off in a car on the highway.
I'm looking for a stroke buddy. And you seem like your technique is on point, sir.
If you seem like this is a thing that we should do, check out my other post.
I like the cut of your jib.
I'm a 63-year-old single man. First off, like for somebody to take a picture of you doing that, like on the highway, they've got to like have some time to do that. Wouldn't you stop or roll your window up?
Also, how the fuck are you driving on the highway and like fucking taking care of business
and going at it strong too,
right? Like, I mean, if anything, be like, I want to find you and clap, sir. That's good stuff.
Because I mean, to catch that, it's got to be the daytime, because at night you can't see in a car.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, you're cruising down the road, fucking 70 miles an hour. One hand on the wheel, the other hand fucking taking care of business.
Yeah, we've got don't text and drive. Now we got to add this to the list.
Yeah.
Would that be the most embarrassing way to die?
Don't jerk on the way to work.
That was pretty good. But could you imagine, like, if you got in a car crash and died? It's like, what happened? I don't know. His pants fell off and he had a raging boner. And on your phone, porn's playing.
Oh, shit. Must have had a heart attack.
If you were the EMT that showed up on that scene, would you pull the pants up or cut on to be like, oh, shit? No, we had to cut his pants.
I pulled the pants up. You know why? Because I'm a good frontline worker. Because after my shift, I'm going to go meet what's their face in North Jersey.
Yeah, and you're like, hey, you know how good of a frontline worker I am?
Yeah.
I saved a guy's dignity.
Here's my
after
badge
death.
to prove it.
Well, it's kind of like, whenever you hear like, who was it that killed himself years ago? And like the rumor, like you didn't hear about it until like a couple months, but then the rumor was his erotic asphyxiation.
Oh, it was David Carradine?
Was that who it was? It wasn't the guy from like
a lot of people have supposedly done it.
Yeah, because wasn't there a guy from like the some martial arts movie? That was a TV show.
That's David Carradine.
Is that David? Okay. Like, wouldn't that be where you'd show up?
Bill and Kill Bill.
Yeah. So like you walk in and you see that, and they got like some kind of video playing. I mean, you like close, shut that, put it somewhere else, then call it in.
Always have a spotter.
A, if they like fall asleep on the job, they can take care of stuff. B, if they're a good spotter, they can save your life.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, what if that person wasn't driving? What if they were like in the passenger seat and somebody else was driving? Or somebody else was driving and they were in the back seat?
Oh, you know what? That's kind of shitty on the mom and dad then, because they're not doing anything wrong. I mean, what else are you supposed to do on like a 10-hour drive?
Yeah.
Like we went to Jersey. How many times did you rub one out?
Oh, like 5.
Yeah.
I
was like, Richard, you want to drive? You're like, nope.
Busy. We can stop and see a Civil War monument. Nope. I'm good.
Although that Betsy Ross, am I right?
Oh, she can knit me anything and then bake me a pie.
Well, I mean, yeah, and then you think like if you're stopped, like if the dude was stopped at like a rest stop and they walk up and catch you with that and take pictures, like, come on, dude. Like when somebody walks up, cover that stuff up.
Yeah, agreed. This
isn't an OnlyFans site.
But they were saying this guy was in the car he was on the highway.
Oh yeah.
So like I said, it's not clear if they were driving while doing this. Just that they were in a silver Mazda on the highway.
Yeah, so he may not have been the driver. Well, Richard, this wasn't as much of a love in the air as like our previous ones. This was more of like, actually, isn't like Valentine's Day supposed to be like the singles hookup day of the year?
Is it?
I thought I heard something about that. Because it's kind of like you don't have somebody, so somebody's like, hey, you want to be lonely together?
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
We all need something.
I'm not a big Valentine's. I think we've talked about this last time. I'm not a big Valentine's guy.
My wife nor me are either.
Yeah, it works good for Tiff and I because we're both in the same boat.
Yeah.
But, well, Richard, as we are traveling this tale of love and meeting new people and finding new friends and learning new tricks to pull on the road. What are your Richard's closing thoughts?
Well, I think I'll just try to sum up, some of the lessons that we've learned from viewing these. Number one, not all heroes wear capes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Number two, if you're going to sell used underwear on the internet, please specify if you're a male or a female. Also, you need to put words like rear-ended in proper context.
Or parentheses.
Yeah. Don't be sad, because there's always someone, there's always your soulmate is always out there somewhere.
You'll find them when you least expect it.
Exactly. Don't send unsolicited dick pics. And when you do and you get ghosted, understand why. Let's see. Always, you know what? Always don't be scared. Show up for the job interview.
Oh, yeah. Always take your shot.
Yeah.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And lastly, don't jerk on the way to work.
Mm-hmm. I remember my grandpa taught me that lesson when I was 7 years old.
Yep.
All right. Well, let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Visit our website. We're at languageofbromance.com. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at languageofbro. Email us at bros@languageofbromance.com. And as always, we like to thank our patrons, Wendy and Aaron.
You guys rock. I just want you guys to know I just destroyed my internet history for you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, try to explain that one to the wife.
Yeah, exactly. You're welcome.
Well, is there anything else before I close her out?
Nope. No, I am good here.
All right. Well, that's all the bromance we have for this show. I'm Shawn.
And I'm Richard. And
remember, don't be a why.
Be a why
not.
And don't kink shame.
Mm-hmm. Hey, Richard.
Huh?
What are you doing tonight? I got a new episode of Murder, She Wrote queued up.
Oh, let me get my penguin on.